What up? Snap Turtle coming to you live. I'm gonna get started right away. Not expecting anyone to join. I would do this and upload it, but for some reason it seems like. Hold on, just a second.
And it takes longer to upload a video that you do on your phone than to just do a live and upload it from there. So probably because they have the live in their database and it's just easy for them to snap it on up there. Now expect to join me. I'm new to YouTube. You know, really a little bit of something about myself. I'm not one of those smooth talking, you know, velvety talking, what do they call those people? I'm not a smooth talker. You know, I'm not the gift of gab type guy, and I'm okay with that. So I speak my truth, and I keep it as real as possible. And sometimes I can come off as a bit of an asshole, a bit, aggressive. My delivery can be a little, raw sometimes. So I don't know. And I'm not a big self promoter. I'll go as far as I can with the self promotion, but not really into it. And I kind of screw myself sometimes in regards to that. Especially, I'm a self-published author. All I really wanted to do was write a good story, publish it, and let it go from there. But because I am self-published, I have to do my own shameless self-promoting. And, and also I was, a lot of things have been happening in the world that I have been peeping for a long time. And, not enough people speak on it genuinely. There's always an agenda. People know things are going on, or they don't really believe it. They just use these events, or they use these conspiracy theories to reach the minds of people who actually believe in it, or people that may become curious about the things that you're talking about. And so, you're bringing them some new, fresh information. You're opening their minds. You're waking them up to a degree. And so, they admire you for it. They look up to you a little bit. Like, I was a sleep sheep, and you woke me up. And people appreciate that, especially when they really want to know what's going on after their curiosity, right? And they want to believe in your leadership, because you're coming off as a leader, and people want to believe in that because you're bringing them that information. You're a great speaker. You're an orator. You're a spoken word artist. Usually, those are the type of people that bring this information to people through their spoken word. Anyway, I say that to say I'm no spoken word artist. I'm not even a great orator. I communicate better when I'm putting the pen to the page. You know, I would say typing on a white screen, but I hate typing on a white screen. I'd rather handwrite and have somebody dictate it onto a white screen themselves. Someone who enjoys staring at a computer for hours. Anyway, but like I said, certain events are happening, and they're happening at such a frequent rate, and it just seems to be growing more devastating that I felt like I had to start speaking out on this YouTube stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because more people need to be reached, and the more people that talk about these things, you know, the further the reach is. And it's really you're not putting yourself out there for yourself. You're putting yourself out there to get this information to the people so that they can wake up and changes can start happening. Like, we can take our power back, because that's the whole point of a democracy, right? Even to a degree, a democratic republic. The point is that the people have the power ultimately to make change, ultimate change. Like, we can take our power back at any time, and that's why certain amendments were written into the Constitution, so that it can remain that way. You know, and then they do a dumb thing like give the executive power to write executive orders to get shit done just on a whim, without going through Congress or the Senate and the courts. Why am I saying all this? It's because things are getting ramped up, and I'm a misanthrope, which means that I'm not really a people person. You know, it took me a lot to do this, but I love people. You know, I'm not an introvert, so to speak, but I can't operate alone. You know, I'm a lone warrior. You know, if I were ever a part of some type of, you know, militia or group of a force, I would be the guy, you know, sent down on recon by himself to see what's what, you know, down the line, down range, miles ahead. Or someone who, you know, works better alone. But I have a family, right? If it were just me, and I know how stupid people are, I know how stupid the population is as a whole, and how much they believe in the media, and how easily they are brainwashed and put under a spell. I know how easy it is. I know how that works. You know, if it were just me and I didn't have my own family, if I didn't have a wife and 5 children, I could easily, with my salary and my skill set, you know, I could take my show on the road. I can go to Belize. I can go to Costa Rica. I can go to Panama, somewhere like that. I could go to Tahiti by myself after having saved a lot of money, you know, and get away from this bullshit, you know, and wait for it to come there, you know, because the ultimate goal is Agenda 3030 or 2030, Agenda 2030, where they want everything around the world to be part of the Internet of Things. They want one world government. They want one world military, one world bank, right? And these are the reasons people like Gaddafi, Chavez, Castro, you know, cats like that, the Iranian president, they go against the world banking system. And you see what happens to them. Saddam Hussein, you want to get away from from the American dollar, certain shit happens to you. Except for if you're like China, but China doing their own thing. They got that shit cracked. They ain't fucking with China. And so that's the ultimate goal. But the further I am away from these superpower countries, the longer I have to survive and prepare. But because I do have a family, I have to give half of a fuck about how some of y'all clowns operate and how asleep some of you fools are. You know what I'm saying? You don't think about shit. And this brings me to in regards to the difference between contrails and chemtrails. Right? Let's start with this. What happens when you look up chemtrails on Google? It doesn't pop up as chemtrails. It pops up as contrails, right? But any non-word, you can look up any non-word and you can find it almost immediately. Now, I'm not saying that if you go down far enough, you won't find chemtrails somewhere. But the first thing that pops up are contrails when you look up chemtrails. Any other non-word, any other made-up word, any other slang, that will pop up immediately on Google, right? So why? Chemtrail is I would say is a relatively well-known term, right? Why isn't it popping up when you Google it right away? Enough people talk about it, enough people know about it. There has to be a Wikipedia page for it, right? I don't know. I didn't look that far. I just wanted to search it and see what happened. So that's what I saw. A chemtrail is an aerosol spray that they eject from a plane that contains all manner of chemicals, heavy metals like aluminum and borium, and then some polymers, which are like, composites of different types of plastic. So they're spraying that shit in the air. And they're spraying it, initially they were spraying it for decades to reflect the sunlight back out into space, right? That was a whole idea. Well, it would cool the planet for a hot second. I heard that in the 60s or 70s or earlier in the 20th century, there was some cooling going on the planet, and they were talking about global cooling. They were concerned about global cooling. Well, apparently that was around the time they were spraying the shit out of the sky, and it cooled the Earth. But what that did was begin to trap a lot of the remaining reflected rays. It would trap it in a dome. So you spraying all these chemicals and you're spreading it out. You're irradiating it. You have to irradiate it so they'll spread out. Right? You heat it up, they spread out, and they cover more space. So you irradiate it, they're spreading out, and there you have that. So they spread out, and you have that. But what you're doing is you're pushing moisture away from the area over which you sprayed, right? So you spray over, let's say, 20 square miles or something like that, just as an example. Let's say there was some rain clouds that were supposed to come in, all right? Some moisture, some offshore moisture or cold front was supposed to come over that area. Well, because you irradiated this metal, these chemicals, the shit goes around, right? It has to go around or it gets stalled out. They can stall out storms too. They can stall out cold fronts. They can hold it in place until it dissipates. Now, so what does that mean? What that means is fucked up. You're preventing moisture from coming here. And in turn, you create a drought in certain areas, and in others, you can push the moisture into those areas where they're getting too much rain, and they begin to flood. You know, and this is one reason we have these fires in California, here in California. You know, you're drying out the rural areas, and then a smart meter blows up or some shit. There you have a fire, right? And in some of these areas where the houses are burned down, the trees aren't burning down, but then there are a lot of trees burning down as well. Don't get that twisted. So these chemicals are flammable, but I'm not here to talk about that. I spoke on that before. What I want to talk about is the difference between a condensation trail, as they call it, and a chemtrail. All right. So, what's the difference? Well, other than the composition of the trail, right? So a contrail has water vapor. That's what it consists of. Condensation, right? Humid water vapor that gets released from an airplane. An airplane releases it to get rid of some of the humidity in certain areas of the plane. That's what a contrail is, and as simple as that. And usually, these contrails only last a matter of minutes. Okay, a matter of minutes. A chemtrail is going to last hours and hours, right? And then let's say you see a trail in the sky, right? You go in the house. You go outside. You're playing outside with the kids. You look up. You see a trail, right, from a plane. They're very distinctive when they first get sprayed out. All right, so you got that. All right, so you look up. You see a trail, right? And you're out there for a little bit. The trail doesn't go away. It's still there. It keeps its shape for a little bit. Well, you go in the house. You get all the kids in the house. You give them a shower. You give them a bath. You know, you feed them dinner. You come back outside. They take the trash out. You look up. You see where that trail was once nice and thin and thick. It looks feathered out now. It's spread. The contents of that trail has spread out, and it looks like it's forming a cloud, right? If you're looking at that spot, all you gotta do is look up. Well, I posit that is a chemtrail, not a contrail. All right. Now, I took it upon myself to Google how long do contrails last in the sky? Well, they have that covered. They say anywhere from minutes to days. Now, what conditions would cause a condensation trail to remain in the air for days? Water vapor. Okay? Now, they'll tell you some trails have enough vapor to form clouds, right? To form little clouds that'll stay in the air for a while. Huh? They form clouds, really? Oh man, they got these people, man. So they tell you that a condensation trail, water vapor coming from a plane, is spreading out on its own and forming a cloud. And we believe that. Have you ever, okay, perfect example, right? Let's say you live somewhere it snows, right? You're walking down the street, right? It's snowing, it's really cold. You puff out, you blow out, and you can see the condensation coming out, right? How long does that condensation last, that condensation puff? And you're walking down the street, you're breathing. Let me ask you something. Do you see a trail of condensation behind you? If you look back, do you see a trail at all? No, that shit dissipates immediately. All right, because this is warm air is coming out. It's hitting the cold. That's why you see the vapor, right? Same thing. The air, the vapor might come out little warmer than what it is in the atmosphere, but it'll immediately, almost immediately, reach the temperature of the atmosphere, and you won't see it anymore. Okay. Now, I remember, they right in the sky with the plane. When it comes out, it looks like little puffs, like it doesn't come out like a straight. I don't know how to explain it. So this is a common demonstration I'm doing. It looks like more like a tail, right? If you see a condensation trail or chemtrail, it looks like a trail, and then they can shut it off and shut it on at any point. Anyway, I want y'all to think about that, because you're going to Google it if you're smart, right? And you're going to do a little research, and you're going to find that they're going to say that these contrails can last from minutes to days. They're going to tell you that. And then they're going to they can form cirrus clouds, CIRRUS clouds. Okay? It's important to know what kind of information they're putting out there. But then forget about Googling chemtrails. Google geoengineering or weather modification. That's when you might find something in regards to that. They have patents on these the contents of these trails. You just gotta dig deep and look and do the research. And they're gonna put it out in front of you like that. So it's important to know the difference. You look up in the sky, you see a long trail that's been sitting there for hours and hours and hours, and then you look up again sometime later, and it done spread out. All right. Now, today is what is today? I don't remember what day it is. 13th of November, 2018. Next Tuesday, it's supposed to start raining. It's supposed to rain a few days. So, but we had some moisture coming from a little hurricane in Mexico that was supposed to bring us a storm that got knocked out the box and was replaced by fires. Now, we're supposed to have some rain coming next week, so we'll see what happens. It'll be very interesting. I'll be on the lookout. I got some pictures. I took a lot of pictures this morning because I came out for lunch at work, and I saw a shitload of just trails all over the place. And I work close to the ocean, and that's where they like to spray a lot because that's where the moisture is coming from, right? So, a shitload. Now, these trails are crisscrossing, going in weird direction. Where are they going? Where are these planes going? If it's just contrails, where are they going? What's their destination? Why are they flying back and forth in the sky, leaving these trails and crisscrossing this shit? These are things you got to think about. All right. They're turning California into. They want to get us out of the rural areas and get us into these mega cities, so they can do what the fuck they want with us. They want to limit our travel. All right. They want to build bullet trains. They want to pack us into these buildings. They want to pack us onto these conveyances. They want to pack us on the buses and trains, with all manner of different type of people, with our kids. You know what I'm saying? Homeless people. Drug addicts, gang members, whoever. Poor woman in Oakland in a bar station got slashed in the throat by a racist white boy. Her and her sister. She died, unfortunately. So this is the type of shit they want us to pack us into. Not only that, you're going to have cops all over the place itching to kill a Negro. I don't know about you, right? I don't know about you. But I enjoy being able to drive my motherfucking truck where the fuck I want to go. I don't care if a bullet train can get me from San Francisco to Las Vegas in 20 minutes. I don't care about that. I don't want no parts of that. No, I'll take the 5 or 6 hours. I'm cool with that. Leave my black ass in my truck. But as it stands, California, this is going to be the model. This is going to be the model. Going to see how efficient it is. Oh, it's so efficient. People are getting to work in minutes, and there's less traffic on the streets. Pollution is down. But when I look up, it looks pretty clear, right? But they want to blame the fires and all that on CO2. CO2 doesn't dry plants out. Are you kidding me? You know what it does? CO2 feeds the plants. They need CO2. But there's a such thing as too much. But I don't think it's too much. No. But you know what causes these fires? Droughts and flammable chemicals that are getting sprayed in the sky that comes down onto the plants. All right? Highly flammable. And they get in the soil and they throw the pH balance off. So these trees can't grow back like that. This is what they're doing. They're getting motherfuckers out of them areas, man. And they bring their ass into the city. To a city near you, you're gonna have a bunch of motherfuckers. All right, and they're not gonna know what to do with themselves in a city. They lived off the land. They're used to the quiet life. It's about to get real loud for them. About to get real loud for you, much louder than you already used to. So that's the difference between the chemtrail and the contrail. All right, but they'll just tell you that the lingering trails are just contrails that are more dense, and they can create a nucleus and form a cloud. Are you fucking? Come on, man. Do you know what you need? How much water you need to form a cloud? How much water to form a cloud that sticks around that long? Wake the fuck up, man. Wake the fuck up. Otherwise, your ass gonna be sleeping on top of your buddy, all right? Because that house costs $1 million now. You can't afford it. But that apartment downtown, low income. Low income. Gas tax that we just tried to repeal, but they got out of there. Couldn't repeal it. Guess what that's going toward? Guess what that's going towards? Transportation infrastructure. Not just rebuilding of roads. Building trains, and they already got the Metro link going down Crenshaw, putting those businesses out of the box. Think about shit. All right? Because my kids have to live in the world. I don't want to. It's not because I want to remain in the city. I'm done. We're getting out of here. We're going somewhere a little bit away from California, to where we're not going to be affected by this Agenda 21 shit right away. And then we got to figure something else out after that, or get the lay of the land and figure some shit out there. Just a thought. This is all just for a book that I'm writing. It's all fiction. No such thing as chemtrails, right? Look up, motherfuckers.